Yes, I went to Little Bowden School for a bit. Yeah, that's true.
Do you remember much about it?
I do. I remember little snippets. I mean, in those days, of course, we used to cycle to school. That's what everybody did. And now everybody gets taken in their cars. So we had a big cycle rack at school. I do remember that. And then I used to cycle home in the afternoon. I got very excited about music at a very early age, 12 or 13, I think it was. And it's just what I've always wanted to do. And of course, nobody in the family was musical, apart from me. And so, it was a bit of an uphill struggle, to say the least. But as we can see, we got there in the end.
The life and times of Dire Straits is an interesting story. In fact, you and Mark are the only consistent members of the band David left. It was David, I think, that you actually knew better in the early days because you roomed with him, didn't you?
Yeah, well, he moved into my council flat in South London when I was a student at Goldsmiths College doing sociology, and I needed a flatmate because I couldn't afford the rent, essentially, which was £9.48 a week, I think, or something at the time. And so David ended up paying £4.50, and I paid the other £4.50. I mean, things were tough then. And no tears, please. But it was quite it was quite a rough time, but very enjoyable. And then Mark, of course, turned up because he was David's brother, and we became friends and started playing together.
A lot of people just remember the highs; they don't know the struggles that you had to get your foot on the ladder and so on along the way.
Well, yes, I think every band has that. You just got to believe that you really want to do it, because the early days are always interesting. How things come together. Everybody kind of knows about the Brothers in Arms stuff and the big tours and stuff, but those early moments of how people sit down and make sense together as a band is quite interesting, and so it's made me rethink how that was. And it's kind of in your blood, and it's still in my blood. I still want to go out and play the music, play the songs, play my songs. There's nothing quite like putting a bunch of musicians together, especially of the quality of my band, which they're fabulous, and sitting down and playing some music with them. It's just the greatest of pleasures. I mean, I can't recommend it enough. I mean, I just love communicating with people in the audience.
You had I think it was 15 years struggle with cancer, leukemia, wasn't it, which was really tough. But even then you were still writing, even in hospital.
Yes, in fact, I wrote most of the Testing the Water album in hospital. Well, there wasn't much else to do. I was in this isolated room for a month while they sort of took my immune system down to zero, because that's what you have to do with a stem cell transplant, and I had my sister's stem cells, and it all worked very well. But I'm an optimist, and I just believe that I'm going to be okay, and I trusted the people who were looking after me, and not everybody gets through the chemo, and that's pretty nasty, I've got to tell you. So I know what it's like, and I know lots of people have connected with people who are unwell, and it's a struggle.
Do you still like going into a studio and doing this sort of stuff?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I love starting with an acoustic guitar and then coming out a few weeks later with the finished article. It's a fabulous thing to do. I mean, I'm still fascinated by the process. I still don't quite know how it works. I've got snippets of things all over the place in books and on the phone and ideas and stuff, and then gradually this jigsaw puzzle comes together, and then you turn it into an album. But that's about all I know about it, because there's just a bit of mystery, which is always useful to have a bit of mystery in your life.